If debt is stressing you guys out, if debt is the reason why you can't save, if debt is the reason why you're struggling to pay your bills, why do we keep getting into it? Why do Americans keep falling back into the cycles and the chains of debt? You guys realize that two-thirds of the economy flows on consumerism and spending. There's nothing wrong with spending. It just becomes a problem when people are spending more than they earn, which leads them into debt. Credit card debt and car loans to me are the two biggest common debt stressors of debt. People are out here buying cars that they know they can't afford. I understand that you need a car, but you don't need a car payment. You just need someone that can get you from point A to point B. Guys, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you can't get a car payment. You just can't. To me, you either should be using public transportation or saving up so you could buy you a nice used vehicle that could get you from point A to point B. That can get you to work and from work. Guys, we gotta stop with these high car payments. Car payments is what's keeping you stressed out at night. Like, guys, it is such a big flex to drive a car, and when you think about it, you don't owe nobody a dime on it. You don't gotta make no sorts of payments. All you gotta do is pay for insurance, gas, and routine maintenance when that comes up, of course. And after that, guys, all your money is yours. At least when it comes to the car, you're still gonna have other financial obligations. But that's at least when it comes to the car. And guys, when it comes to credit cards, as long as you're paying your statement, balance off every month, and you're keeping your credit utilization low, guys, you're gonna be fine. To me, credit cards are so easy to manage. You just gotta stop overspending. And you just gotta use discipline and sometimes use self-control. Let's be honest, the stuff that you maxed out on your credit card, you didn't even need. You just seen it, you was like, oh, I want it. Guys, credit cards are used to build your credit score, are used to help you improve credit. But instead we take it as a tool and it damages our finances. It ruins our financial future. It stresses us out. Guys, in 2026, credit card debts have been surging through the roof. And guys, you want to know something insane? I was looking at a study yesterday by Duke. It was by Duke University. CNN reported that approximately 71% to 80% of Americans have reported financial stress is coming from debt. So that means four out of five of the whole entire population in the United States are stressed about debt. Guys, we're not broke. We're making good wages. Even some of us who are starting out in the workforce, we're making pretty good wages. We're making good money. It's just the second it hits our account, it's gone in 2 business days. We don't even have any money saved up. We don't even have an emergency fund. Like, guys, if you guys are not financially literate, it's going to cost you tens, sometimes hundreds, sometimes millions of dollars because you don't know how to make sound decisions when it comes to your money. A lot of people, who they get their paycheck, they spend recklessly and just hope that they have enough money for bills. If they don't have enough money for bills, what makes you think they're going to have enough money for savings? So many people in society today can't even cover a basic $400 emergency without going into debt, without using credit cards. When you think about that, that's alarming. So you're saying that if an emergency was to come today, you would have to go into debt just to pay for it. And then later on, you would be worrying about how will I pay that back. Guys, you guys need to save money. There's nothing wrong with spending, but you guys need to save and invest. There's a money rule that I always follow. Pay yourself first. As soon as your check lands in your account, you already have some money going towards your savings, going towards your investments. Because guys, when you keep overspending, it's it's not gonna go good for you. It's just not. Because what happens is when you overspend, you live on more than you make. That's why so many six-figure earners can't even save a single penny, because they let something called lifestyle inflation creep in. The more money they make, the more money they spend. People say, "Oh, I'll just start saving when I make more money." No, when you make more money, you're gonna spend more money. If you can't save on making $40,000 a year, what makes you think you're gonna be able to save on a $60,000 salary? You're not gonna be able to, because as soon as you get a raise, as soon as your boss gives you a raise, or however, or as soon as your side gig or whatever starts taking off, you're gonna start going out to eat more. You're gonna start taking more luxurious vacations. You're gonna begin sucked into these high car payments, and before you know it, you're living paycheck to paycheck. You have more. You have more payments you got to make than income. You got more debt than income coming in. You, your debt is $100,000, over $100,000 a month, and you're only making $60,000 a year. Like, the numbers that people have accumulated in debt is scary. It just makes me think, how did this happen? But again, when you don't have a plan for your money, it starts to control you. Guys, I want you guys to know, money is just a tool. It's just a tool that should be used to fund your lifestyle. But instead, we this tool that is very powerful, we're yet letting it control us. It's driving us crazy. It's keeping us up at night. We're stressed out to the max. We can't even enjoy life. We're thinking about, how am I gonna pay off this debt 24/7? Like, before thinking taking on debt, you need to ask yourself, is this gonna appreciate in the future? Is this gonna go up in value in the future? Or am I gonna be able to manage this kind of debt? Guys, car notes and credit cards are the biggest wealth killers in America, because it's taken away from your investments, and it's taken away from your savings. Guys, credit card interest rates grow faster than the S&P 500 annual return. The S&P 500 on average returns about 7 to 10% a year, while credit card interest rates are at 20, 25, 30% interest. Debt is the reason why so many Americans in 2026 are struggling today, because of debt. They've accumulated so much debt that they're struggling to pay it off, or they don't know how they're going to pay it off, because they're overspending. They're getting trapped into this consumerism economy trend, where we just spend, and can't even save a single dime. Americans today still don't have $1,000 in their bank account. They can't even cover they can't even cover 3 months of emergencies if they have a temporary loss of income without going into debt, or without going into even more debt, I say. And guys, when you guys have too much debt to income ratio, when your debt to income ratio is just not good, you actually have a chance of not being approved to not being able to get an apartment, get a house, or sometimes a car in your name. Let's say you was take on a car loan or a mortgage. The interest rate would be super high. That you even think twice about signing the lease. That you would even think twice about signing on it, about accepting it. Like, when it comes to our finances, we gotta ask ourselves, especially when it comes to debt, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Even if I was to lose my job, would I still be able to pay for it? Would I still be able to pay off this car? Would I still be able to pay for the mortgage? If the answer is no, just don't do it. But if the answer is yes, well, it's your money, it's your choice. So by all means, do it. But getting into debt that we can't afford is just not it. Like, guys, I don't have any debt. Not a thing. All I do is save and invest. First, then I pay my bills. Then whatever's money is left over, if I want to, I'll spend it on something nice. Like, guys, I'm all for having nice things. And you guys should be for that too. But if it stresses you out, and what I mean by that is, if you got to get into debt just to look nice, like these $1,800 a month car payments, they're not it. A lot of people who do this just be trying to keep up with the Joneses, as if they got something to prove to other people. FYI, people don't care about what you drive. It might catch their attention for a minute, but their attention is gonna go right back off of it, because a lot of people have so much stuff going on, and so much stuff that's going on in their mind. It might catch their attention for like 1 to 2 seconds or even a minute, and they might stop to tell you how nice and how good of a car you have. But guess what? They're not going to care. You're still going to be stuck with paying for that high car payment. Guys, I want you guys to understand, cars do not appreciate in value. They depreciate. Cars are not an investment. An investment is money put down now in order to make more money in the future. You're not. If anything, cars can sometimes be a negative investment, because some people have reported going into an underwater loan, meaning they owe more on the car than its current value. You owe $9,000 on the car, but the car is only worth $5,000. So you're a negative $4,000 in equity. That's $4,000 down the drain. And meanwhile, you're still gonna have to pay for that balance. You're still gonna have to give the bank free money. And guys, I don't understand why people are even financing cars at 10, 15, 20% interest, as if that's cool. And guys, dealerships know that, oh yeah, this decision is not good, but they're not going to tell you that because they want your money. These corporations aren't going to tell you that you're spending too much, because guys, they don't care. Everything is a business move. That's what my dad says. Companies are just in this just to make money. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about the debt you have. They don't care. And the banks that keep giving you guys these credit cards with these 20 or 30% APR. They don't care anyway. They're not working in your interest at all. So what you got to do is get a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. I'd argue 9 to 12. Then start saving and investing. But first, you need to pay off high interest debt. You could use the snowball effect or the avalanche effect, whatever works best for you. But guys, you need to get out of debt. You need to get out of debt fast. And once you got out of it, don't go back into debt. Another debt that I see that's starting to mess up people's lives is student loans. Because student loans is the one thing that you can't file for bankruptcy for. You're always going to have to pay it. It's always going to be there no matter what. You can't default on it, because if you default on it, the government could take up to 15%. It's something called wage garnishment. They could take sometimes more than that from your paycheck. Because so many people these days have defaulted on their student loans. Guys, you can't take out student loans if you know you're not going to be able to pay it off. Don't take out no more than what you think your first year's salary is going to be. Because one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to be at the age of 40 and 50, sometimes even 60, still trying to figure out how I'm going to pay off student loans. Still trying to pay for something still trying to pay for a decision that you made when you was 19, 20, 21. Because debt, it adds up. What starts out as something small, 5 years later, you're $100,000 in credit card debt. You're over $20,000 in card debt. And you're over $200,000 in student loans. And guys, I know people who have that, and it's stressful. It's eating them up. It's eating them alive. They can't save or invest a single penny. They're going to work just to pay for debt, just to pay off things. Guys, at that point, life has no meaning. And what I mean by that is, you're working just to give your money to other people. You don't even have none for yourself. You can't even enjoy the fruit of your labor. At that point, life has no meaning. At that point, working a job is useless at this point. But again, it's because we don't know how to manage our money. And sometimes people aren't being taught about financial literacy, which I kind of do understand, because financial literacy is a skill that everyone should be taught, even from a young age. Teaching them that managing your money matters. It's one of the most important things. It doesn't matter about the shoes you have on. It doesn't matter how many pair of shoes you got in your closet. It doesn't matter about how much designer you got on. That stuff don't matter. But what matters is how you treat people and how you are as a person, and how good you are with financial literacy. Guys, in America today, some people saying they had to make over $50 an hour just to be financially stable. And I'm gonna push back on that. I think you could live comfortably at making $30 an hour. It's possible. With the war in Iran and the energy prices going up, gas prices are going through the roof, inflation is going through the roof, and wages have been staying stagnant for quite some time now. But I still think you can live comfortably at $30 an hour, depending on how many dependents you have, and depending if you have any roommates, you could still live comfortably off making $30 an hour. You gotta just have a plan for your money. You gotta budget. You gotta save and invest. Because guys, if you guys don't have a plan, if you guys don't know where your money is going, it gets tough out here. Like, this is why people really are having anxiety when it comes to money. they can't even talk about it. They don't even know what they're doing in life. They just wake up and they feel scared. And it's just like they can't even do a simple activity without even feeling anxious. But that comes from the shambles of debt and having debt that you can't manage. Guys, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect. I've been in debt before, but I got myself out of it and I stayed out of debt. And now I'm actually to the point where I'm saving and investing both for my emergency fund and for my retirement. If you guys have 401ks by your employers, see if you can get the employer match. Because let's say your employer gives you 5% or even 10%. Because I think some people have it like that where they get 10%. That's a 5%, 10%, or whatever return guaranteed before the market does anything. And some companies have it where if you stay there for a certain amount of years, that money, if you become vested with them, if you keep working there, that money is actually yours even after you leave the company. So yeah, guys, just stay out of debt. And financial decisions you make will always impact you.